Namaste, angels. I'm going to do a client reading, and it's going to be a little different. And actually, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. So I had planned just now to start it one way. And as I was pressing start on the camera, pressing record, I changed my mind, or I was moved to do something different. So I'm going to start with this deck and the energy of soulmate. And opening to Beauty Queen, which is a card for me, like similar to the Empress in the Tarot, about feeling really good and confident and strong. Can be, male or female. It's not gender specific, but, kind of like that I am woman, hear me roar type of, energy that is what's coming to mind. But again, it can be male, female, however one identifies. And actually, I am doing this reading for a person who identifies as male. So there goes that. Soulmate and wallflower. Wallflower for me is about not fully engaging in life, sort of like watching it from the sidelines at times. And I do associate it with the signs particular of Capricorn, which we've just entered. So that energy surrounds us all, whether we are Capricorn or not ourselves. Scorpio, also very much like that. And Gemini. And again, the person for whom I'm reading is also a fellow Gemini. Soulmate. Control. Interesting. Cords of attachment, manipulation. This can be ourselves, true, like trying to force our hand. And again, we're sitting and watching life from the sidelines, but we're also trying to like direct it, and not engaging fully can be in part because whether consciously or not, we're trying to control the situation, and our willful participation, sort of just going with the flow, that would be relinquishing control. Going with the flow. So that can be what this is too. Control opposite soulmate. There can be some sort of karmic soulmate situation surrounding either the people for whom I'm reading, or connected to one of them. A past relationship or something, or past life relationship. Soulmate and past love. Speaking of past situations, this now again opposite soulmate. So what I'm trying to do, and what the gentleman for whom I'm reading is trying to do, is to see the connection, if possible, between he and a woman he has recently met. Saying it might not be romantic, but definitely feeling something sort of serendipitous, kismet, and wanting to get a better idea as to what kind of situation it might be. Come to the Ice Queen, which for me tends to represent Venus and air signs, again, like myself and the person for whom I'm reading, a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, of course. Can represent the divine feminine in general too, because the actual, not of the tarot, but the actual divine feminine, at least as far as I'm concerned, is a Gemini. But not only that, more associated with the tarot, she's here with this big cat. It's not a lion, it's a tiger, but it still reminds me of fire signs. So the Queen of Fire, of course, in the tarot represents the divine feminine. This opposite past love person could be an air sign. Venus is the goddess of love and the planet of love. So that's enough reason for this to be here. And also, speaking of fire signs in connection to Venus, Venus is presently in Sagittarius. And as I was shuffling my romance deck, I think it was, I did see a lot of cards that remind me of the sign of Sagittarius. Past love. I'm going to go ahead and cut. Well, these are good and cut. And we're back to wallflower. Also, from this deck, this would be the divine feminine for me. And it could be more fire sign energy coming through as well with this red hair, although they call her the blonde female. This is a redhead as far as I'm concerned. And it is for me, of this deck, the divine feminine. Wallflower back. The overall energy is true love. So this will represent their connection, the recent past, the near future, the masculine's higher self, challenges or blocks to their relationship, whatever nature it is. What the masculine can do, the feminine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. So representing them and their relationship, short term, interesting, and short-term heartache. Because I usually say heartache because there's this broken heart here. The card is called short-term. Recent past. This could be Capricorn. This card represents Capricorn for me, so it could be the recent past, very, very recent, as in 2 days ago. Maybe Saturn entering Capricorn, the sun entering Capricorn. This is also that karmic energy for me. Near future. Money, abundance, longevity to the relationship potentially. Although this is short term. Again, this could be even a past life situation, short-term heartache. Earth energy, a lot of earth energy coming out. Perhaps the other person is an earth sign. I don't know their sign. The masculine's higher self, karma, dealing with karma. So when I did the archetypal readings, we saw that while both archetypes, masculine and feminine, are dealing with karmic issues, the masculine is really going through something. So this is, again, this is a karmic energy for me, or this card represents karmic energy for me. Now it's being crowned by karma, and also short term, with money here, Pentacles, there's more Capricorn, maybe the Devil card from the tarot, that kind of energy coming through, and that is very much attached to karma and like being stuck, restricted, manipulated, control, like we saw with that other card. Let's keep going. Any challenges or blocks to their relationship? Distance, long distance. That could be why something is only short term, because there is, and actually, the gentleman for whom it's a repeat client, so, and a Facebook friend, all of that. So I am aware that he has met this woman while away, traveling internationally. So under normal circumstances, there would be substantial distance between them. Very true. And that could be what leads to the short-term heartache even. Although I pulled this card first, it's just a matter of placement of my crossbred. This is where I put the card that, you know, is going to ultimately represent the two people for whom I'm reading. But this could come after this, or as a result of this too. What the feminine can do. There's some obstacles associated with the feminine that she has the ability to remove. Perhaps involving the distance. Maybe she has the ability to come closer. What can the masculine do? Young male. Well, this is representing for whom I'm reading. Gemini, again, is a sign and is the more youthful of the air element and represented by the, young for me. It's like page type energy, page of air. Further advice from the universe, freedom. So like, again, we have the ability to remove any obstacles in front of us, and we should, says the universe. Work through your karmic issues and like don't let them work through you. Sort of like make the money, don't let it make you. Don't allow this devil energy to be, intrusive and imposing upon you and controlling of you. You sort of navigate it instead. And the outcome, beauty queen, you standing on top and, new beginnings and basically, fertile energy and the ability to go after whatever you want. New starts. I want to see now from the other person's perspective, from this woman's perspective, or at least that of her higher self, what their connection might be, beginning with enchantment and opening to earth connection. So again, this woman may very well be an earth sign. This other person, this card represents abundance for me too. Abundance that is obtained when we reconnect with nature. And that's certainly what my client is doing right now while traveling internationally, mountain climbing, all this kind of stuff. So spending a lot of time outdoors with Mother Nature, and that opens up the flow to abundance, is my belief, and, and allows for overall healing. Enchantment. And forgiveness. Interesting. Enchantment. Meditation. Meditation toward the healing. Meditation toward the connection with Mother Nature. Any type of time that we spend with Mother Nature, in my opinion, is meditation. And physical body. A lot of sun energy coming through. A lot of what's being healed in this process, solar plexus and sacral chakras in particularly. Opposite enchantment, which is definitely a card of healing for me, like sort of from the top of your head, literally the crown of your head, down to your feet, in full surrender. These cards are both in both of these cards, these women are in full surrender, eyes closed, allowing the universe to do with them what it will. This one always seems to have like scars and stuff on her face to me. Maybe battle scars. She's a survivor. And even through all that, she's still fearless and will completely succumb to whatever the universe feels she needs in order to get better. Physical body and answered prayer. Physical body. I'm going to cut. And physical body yet again. Overall energy here is guardian. This is the, this will reflect my client about himself. This woman about him. This woman about herself. and about their relationship, and then whatever the nature of their relationship too, perhaps. Overall, what this woman would have him to do toward their relationship, friendship, however you want to label it, what he himself willing to contribute, and what the universe would have the two do, and the outcome here. Forgiveness. This is my client's card. And the first thing I thought about is the need for him to forgive past situations, to release past situations. So perhaps having nothing at all to do with this woman that he's met, but just in general, to extend some forgiveness, even to those that haven't sought it from him, that haven't asked for it. And of course himself too. Like any guilt for, I wasted this time, I misdirected my energy here, I could have better spent it there. You know, you did what you did. We all do what we do. And, you know, we either determined that it was absolutely the right thing to do, or we determined that it wasn't, but we learned at least that. And so it was still for the good, ultimately. And we just have to look at things that way in a more positive light. And that's going to help to keep that flow of abundance and health and healing open for you as well. And allow for other and new relationships to grow, and for yourself to grow individually, spiritually, emotionally, all of that as well. I lost it. It stopped. The woman that you've met, about you. Meditation. So you guys are connecting so far in a spiritual way. And like you speak the same language in that regard. It may even be a means of communication, like whether you realize it or not. And that can manifest and materialize and be witnessed in the form of, you know, different synchronicities and things. About herself. Celebration. This is ascension. This is growth. She may not be actively, physically celebrating herself. She may be. This is rise. And I get that often from this card because this dove for me is very Pentecostal. And that's what the Pentecost is about. The event of the Pentecost is a celebration of the rise or resurrection of Jesus and other, you know, quote unquote saints, as it's written in the scriptures. That's what's being celebrated. So often when I see this, it's ascension, it's spiritual growth, which makes sense sitting here next to meditation too. And you may, you know, enable, even activate, you know, some of, or have activated some of this growth. The two of you coming together may have sparked something, you know, in one or both of you. And your relationship as a whole, wow, eternal flame. So this would be like lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, you know, and forever and always. For all eternity, this burns. This card also speaks of fire sign energy for me too. So that may be something that's being reintroduced. Because I started the reading talking about fire energy that I had seen and felt. What would she have you do toward you guys' friendship? Like, continue down path. It's a very spiritual connection. She sees you on path and she would have you to continue it. I always say that the end is Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael is the archangel of the heart chakra, but certainly of health and healing. And when we reach that end, I'm getting so much like really heavy energy right now that I can't keep up with it. I guess I'm feeling, because I'm an extreme empath too. I guess I'm feeling you guys' spiritual connection, like running through me. Yeah, you're on the right track. And there's something for you both at the end there, with Archangel Raphael. What are you willing to do? Co-create. Co-create. You guys may have maybe some kind of partners in the future. Sitting here under an eternal flame, it could very well be romantic partners. Certainly, if it is, it's a super spiritual relationship. This card for me speaks of air signs. It speaks of, and particularly Aquarius. It speaks of water signs, particularly Pisces. And I'm getting something about humanity, which would be very Aquarian. Aquarians, these free thinkers, very unique, very humanitarian, wanting to like save the world, but it's in a way that other people wouldn't even think of. That could be like what you're co-creating, like a master plan to really make a contribution. Like to the higher good, something that the two of you could come up with. Overall, more of this Aquarian slash water sign energy and guidance to really, really pay attention to your intuition, and a message that it's increasing. Through continued meditation and remaining on path, and even your connection, the two of you being around each other and bouncing off ideas and stuff and communicating however you communicate, again, even if it's nonverbal, will help your intuition to continue to grow. What would the universe have the two of you to do? Work with Jesus. Interesting. This is, of course, the divine masculine, or a representation of the divine masculine of all time, but also master healer of all time, of all eternity even. If you pray, you may want to pray directly to specifically Jesus and or Archangel Raphael. And they're sort of like mirroring one another here with regard to this healing. And the outcome. Wow. The trilogy of light. It's a trinity. This is a very spiritual path that you guys are working on. And even the overall energy, I'm not sure if I showed it to you, but it's guardian, like a guardian angel here. So this too, very spiritual, angelic. And when I picked this up, this may be connected to the need for forgiveness. Underneath it is sorrow with Mother Mary. So now we have the trilogy, which is more like the Trinity to me. Jesus, an angel, and Mary. Also up right behind this, embrace, which is about the need for balance. And whether it's as a couple or partnership or whoever, like for whoever I'm reading, two friends, two lovers, whatever, but also oneself. Like the way that the card was written by the author, it is one's inner masculine and feminine coming together in balance. And it's very temperance from the tarot card for me type of energy, which is about healing too. It's a very karmic energy, as in of the universe, of healing. The universe, maybe like the universal heart pictured here, sending you this energy that you need to continue on your path toward overall wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, everything, and balance. Also to that, you're supposed to be meditating, also upright underneath that. And lastly, maybe healing sounds. So a lot again of water and air, which can be about intuition. Crown chakra is coming to me, and you may want to, when you do meditation with sounds, you know that I have a thing for binaural tones. If you work with any of that, you may want to do some specifically for or toward the crown chakra. And also, because of what I saw earlier, sacral and solar plexus. I want to do another cross with my past life cards, beginning with Native American, then opening to leaving or traveling, which is interesting since that's what you're doing as we speak. Leaving or traveling, card of movement, ships. Ships. Leaving or traveling, and angels. Ships can represent plain old movement for me. Of course, it is also a mode of transportation. Leaving or traveling by boat specifically may have been something that the two of you did, or one or the other did, or maybe to meet the other. Leaving or traveling back, and lessons and blessings. This is sort of what I was talking about before. Like either it's good and we feel it's good from the outset, or, you know, we feel it could have been better, but it still was worth our time. So we don't want to hold on to any guilt or resentment about how we spent our time or our energy, because if at worst case scenario, there were lessons. Leaving or traveling, and authority figures. This really could have something to do with the pilgrims and stuff, is what I just heard, and would make sense with the cards that we saw. I started with Native American. I opened to leaving or traveling. Then I opened to ships. And now these authority figures, and I saw not Native Americans, but I saw like with slavery, like the auction. Auction is what I saw. But Native Americans, it may not be in the history books. Well, not much of any of this is in the history books. But as far as I know from my own family, we're also mixed up in that. And mother. Like my family, my mother and I acquired some of the birth certificates from, my ancestors, people that precede me. And they just said, we know that, a good bit of them were Cherokee and or Catawba. And the birth certificates just said like mulatto girl, mulatto boy, no information. So they could have very easily ended up on an auction block too. Mother. Very interesting. And Atlantis. Okay, I'm going to cut. Scribe or writer. I saw this one quite a bit as I was shuffling, as a matter of fact, too. The overall energy is medicine man or woman. And this is also, we have this like dream catcher here and feathers. This also looks very Native American. So I started with Native American, and here we are, overall energy, medicine man or woman. This could be either one of you or both. Here again, we'll have a card representing your relationship, a past one. What specifically the universe would want us to know about this past situation. And what subsequent to that. Maybe who you were, where your head was at. Any challenges to your friendship, relationship, whatever dynamic you had at that time. What your role in any of that was. The woman you've met role. Further that the universe would like us to know about all of it. And whatever was the outcome. So what were, ooh, you guys were lovers. That's what you were. What else do we need to know about that? I think probably several lifetimes, because I've already seen the Native American, and now this is Greco-Roman. And then subsequent to that, monk or nun? Huh. It may have been a very like taboo sort of connection. Monk or nun makes a lot of sense with Greco-Roman. That's where the history of, you know, these Christian religions, and particularly Catholic, but Christian religions are. If you had some sort of love life there, that would have been, under these circumstances, that would have been a taboo. What else did the universe want us to know about you in this situation? Spirituality and religion. So you were extremely religious, or religion and or spirituality was extremely impactful upon you. I am getting like a monk type of thing, like a hermit is what I was picturing. And maybe that's why, in part, why some of the earth energy was showing up before, because the whole time I've been in this mind frame of when I was doing your reading of I'm looking for past life stuff too. It's like specifically. What were any challenges we need to know about? Unrequited love. Huh. So one of you may have broken the other one's heart. This cross that we've ended up with thus far, I mean, like, really tells a story in itself. We have a couple, absolutely, with love life being particularly in this placement of where I asked for it to represent you. And then these three cards totally go together: spirituality and religion, Greco-Roman, and monk or nun. Unrequited love can just be the fact that maybe it was something, again, taboo, and you weren't able to pursue it. So one may have turned their back on the other. And perhaps this is when you're supposed to pick up again. Let's see. Mother. Mother. Maybe like a mother superior is what just came to me. Sitting here next to monk or nun. Like the head of the convent. Trees. More of this earth connection. Trees. I just heard tree of life. That's in the Bible and stuff too. I think the trees are connected to the religious connotations. I thought about this. As soon as I saw mother, I said, I wonder if one gave like the other up for adoption too at some point. Or maybe a child together you had to give up for adoption. Orphan. Wow. And the outcome. Atlantis. This would have had to come before Atlantis. Atlantis predates Greco-Roman. Spouse. Galactic. Now you all have several lifetimes together. And there's always been that control, that manipulation, that obstacle, that block of why you couldn't ultimately work. I'm going to recommend also that you, I know I've done this on your behalf before, but I think that you should further on your own when working with Jesus, praying to Jesus, even Archangel Raphael. Be sure that you are asking for any vows of poverty, celibacy, anything limiting you from preventing you from having the kind of healthy and full life that you want for yourself. So the co-creating is coming back into play here as well. Ask that that contract be fulfilled, that you can't consider it null and void. You no longer, in any lifetime or any dimension, so if there's any alternate realities going on with you guys, with you and as an individual, you no longer wish to be held to any of those contracts. Because also the fact that I have worked on healing with you and for you in the past also brings up karmic issues. One of the things that I do, because I tell everybody, I can't cleanse unresolved karma. I can ask that it be dealt with. I can help to raise it to the surface, but I can't cleanse it away. So you end up working through more after I work with you in most cases. And if anything came up again about this spirituality and religion, and this is probably also why I was feeling so strongly and so heavily to the point that I kept losing, I couldn't continue to formulate my sentences and words, is what they were trying to tell me already, probably this very, very strong connection and tie that you still have to your past, religious life. And so you're definitely going to want to break that. But cosmic being, and this is another reason perhaps for Native Americans, I don't care what you see nowadays and these little ads and whatnot. Native Americans, particularly Cherokee, extremely heavily Palladian. If you look up the original writings with regard to the Pleiades and those who discovered Palladian DNA, Dr. Francis Crick, and his two partners, you will find this. So that's a connection right there between Native American and galactic and Atlantis and any other of these times. Greco-Roman, of course, Rome, Italy, and Egypt, just like a boat ride away. Ship that came here before, you know, very close proximity. And so all of this stuff connected. All right, let me go on to another spread. Oh, so I only use, just now when I was trying to clarify, I only use the upright cards. It's just the way that I do it. And when I picked up the one that had been upside down, that I wasn't to use to clarify, I usually don't flip it over like this. I guess you were still meant to see this one. It's persecution and inquisition. So another card that's very much tied into this religious life and perhaps an obstacle, something that kept you guys apart. Religious persecution. I'm going to go now to the Angel Tarot, beginning with the King of Air, which is, of course, your energy. As a Gemini, the King of Air is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So anybody taking on those traits or attributes, he's like a judge, you know, very impartial, very fair person. And perhaps a scribe, because I didn't finish talking about that. I had come to that card, scribe or writer, and I saw it so many times that I was shuffling. And then it was connected to your energy as an air sign for me, you know, definitely about communication and writing and so on and so forth. So that's what the King of Air can be too. The King of Air is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, and balance mental and emotional considerations. And open it to the King of Fire, the divine masculine of the tarot. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic is the King of Fire. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice when someone creative. The King of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or sometimes a Scorpio for me as well. Scorpio also ruled like Aries by Mars. Mars, the planet presently in Scorpio right now, King of Fire back. And speaking of Scorpio, it's the Ace of Water, who is in fact a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or anyone taking on those traits or attributes. And there's also a card of reconciliation, reunions, new love, new beginnings that make us completely emotionally happy and feeling of, you know, fulfillment. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition. Some more of that intuition too, that ascension, maybe even a new home. King of Fire. And it's the Queen of Water, which specifically for me means Scorpio, but of course can be any other water sign as well too, or anybody intuition and all that kind of stuff, or you know, these attributes, these traits, any zodiac sign. But as a fixed sign, the Queen, or Scorpio, is the Queen. Tenderhearted, empathetic, and patient and loving is the Queen of Water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. King of Fire. And it's the Two of Fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. The Two of Fire is the divine union card of the tarot, but it can also represent, in a more general sense, any sort of partnership, into which, opposite the King of Fire, it's very divine union for me, though, because this is one half, right, of these two. King of Fire. And the Three of Water, a celebration, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, the need to have more fun. So I started out with that card of not engaging, right, fully in life. That could be what this is too. At that time I said a Scorpio, a Gemini, a Capricorn, or anybody with those sort of traits who is sort of like watching or attempting to watch life from the sidelines and not not jump 100% in. And again, that is a means of control, trying to withhold your energy from the world. And coming to strength, major arcana card strength, number 11, with Archangel Ariel, great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Strength represents the sign of Leo or other fire sign. Yet again, Sagittarius, Aries. And the overall energy is the 3 of Earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. The 3 of work, or 3 of work, 3 of Earth is about abundance that is earned, in my opinion. It's raise, promotion, ascension as it relates to beings like us. It's very similar to the Judgment card for me too. Of course, the Judgment card bearing a lot more weight as major arcana. This is minor arcana. The 3s also represent what I call a party of 3, which can be a situation involving 3 people, possibly a love triangle, but not necessarily. And this is our second 3. So just want to be mindful of that. I think what I'm going to put here at the top would be what you could do for yourself, what is surrounding you, and what the universe, what God wants you to know. So what you can do for yourself here. Surrounding you. What does God want you to know? And at the heart of the matter, specifically from Archangel Michael, what he has to say. 6 of fire, victory, good news, it's on its way. So be optimistic, be positive, and expect good things to come to you. Also, public recognition or awards might be coming along with that. But also the 5 of air. So you want to be sure, be careful rather, especially as an air sign, not to 5 of air. We often get warning about 5 of air, because it also has to do with a choice. So we can make a conscious choice as to whether or not, we're going to sort of feed into conflict and drama, and potentially bring it upon ourselves or not. And, if you get the opportunity, what you can do for yourself is make the choice to not engage. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. So if something goes on around you that is drama, take a look around, make an assessment. And awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill so that you can do this. It's important to be yourself. Awakening represents the sign of Pisces again. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time I'm mentioning Pisces. And the planet Neptune for me. And it can be about that like sort of foggy thinking or something hanging in the balance, in air, as they say, air of suspension. So you do want to, again, make an assessment of the situation. And it may be involving this potential conflict coming your way. You may want to okay, I thought this is what was going on, but it seems it's this. Or, I thought this person was one way and they seem to be another way. Whatever. Surrounding you. Interesting. The Lovers with Archangel Raphael. This is your energy again, because the Lovers in the tarot represents the sign of Gemini specifically, but it could be other air sign too. But I know for you it is Gemini. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. 2 6s, one atop the other, but another card like these 2 already, guiding you to make an assessment. Keep your eyes open. Also surrounding you here, the 4 of fire. Very nice. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. This can be commitment and mirroring the Lovers. Certainly can be commitment, love, relationship. And having seen the Ace of Water, that's also a card of relationship often. What does God want you to know? Another card representing Gemini for me, represents the planet Mercury. So Gemini and Virgo, this card represents for me in this deck. The Dreamer, it is traditionally the Fool in the tarot, and it sits underneath the Lovers. So you got like Gemini, this is definitely your energy and speaking to you. A leap of faith. So this is about, again, willfully engaging, not watching life from the sidelines. If you get the chance, I hope you dance, like I told the collective in the weekly reading. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Like, just do it. Also, God has to say patience. It's a virtue. You've planted the seeds and you did a good job, right? Seeds well planted. You might be at a temporary pause in action. It may appear that nothing's going on, nothing's happening. They are growing. Trust that. Any worry is unnecessary. And the Queen of Earth, who is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. More earth sign. As a court card, this is a person quite often. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is a Capricorn, perhaps, Taurus or Virgo, or anybody taking on those traits or attributes. And at the heart of the matter, wow, unity. This is the makings for a fabulous relationship. The Lovers, the Hierophant, and the Four of Wands, essentially. But I'll continue. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. Now, another meaning that this card can have sitting here under the Five of Air is that someone or people around you may not mean you as well as they would appear, or you might think, and you may need to make some cuts or some adjustments. The idea overall is to surround yourself with people of your vibration or higher. Also, these two fives, there can be a challenging situation or energy that with which you are confronted, or something that appears that way. Again, you may need to take a step back, and all may not be as it appears. If you remain confident and faithful and trusting in the universe, right, all will be well. I want to further clarify these with the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels to see what, you might be able to do in that area. Beginning with, you deserve love. You are lovable, which is very Sagittarius for me. And opening to playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine, which you definitely have as a Gemini, the more youthful of the air element. Playfulness. It's safe for you to love. So you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to watch life, and especially not love, from the sidelines. You can engage. It's fine for you. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Playfulness and past life relationship. You have known each other before. I say several times before. Playfulness. And very soon, if you clearly decide what you want, it will come to you now. Playfulness. I'll go one more and we're back to you deserve love. So definitely on that note, I will cut. You are lovable. That's the part with which I started. It is now on the top once again, and I'm cutting. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Wow. And yet again, the overall energy is religious factors. That's a very strong, again, very strong, there's like a pull to this thing surrounding this energy. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Atop the 6 of fire, what you can do is make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And of course, the 6 of fire is a card of victory. You will be successful, but you have to put the energy into it. Atop the 5 of air, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So what is challenging can be revealing, can be that engaging, right? Can be getting up out of the chair to dance and sharing some things that you might not have otherwise. The getting to know each other can in itself be what is challenging for you or her or the two of you, especially if one is a Gemini and one is a Capricorn, for example, that could be going on, that both are hesitant to engage. Here, atop awakening or the hanged man is another request and recommendation that you let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. Atop of the lovers, an Archangel Raphael. Ooh, there's a strong magnetic attraction here. Again, the recipe for love sitting here on the table. Atop the 4 of fire. Interesting. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. Perhaps the past life children, that orphan or something could be coming into play with this as well. Atop the dreamer or the fool, flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So like take a chance, throw yourself out there. Atop the Queen of Earth. Wow. And crossing the Hierophant and sitting under the 4 of Wands. More recipe for love. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. With the overall energy of religious factors, it can very well be sacred marriage, especially given the fact that we've already seen the 2 of fire here, the 2 of Wands, the divine union card of the tarot. Atop the 7 of earth, however, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So we saw this earlier in the reading, the need for you to break away from anything that was restricting you. You have the ability to do it. And also, again, I recommended in that last spread that you break away or continue to cut any cords. You know, and if I'm not telling you to just fend for yourself. I'm happy to work with you on more energy healing as well. But definitely freeing yourself from some more toxic, like negative cords of emotion and negative attachments and vows from past lives, vows that no longer like resonate with you and align with your life, or with the times, period, really. And at the heart of the matter, atop unity or the high priest, the Hierophant, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. This one is upright. Let's see what else the hanged man and control issues may be about. Maybe holding back from jumping into a new love situation, potentially. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. As far as free yourself, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. It can be this person that you've already met, your past being a past life quite easily. And the next one is upside down. So with that, I'll give you your advice. These I'll give a little shuffle. Opening to wisdom here. So very air sign. Crown chakra. Communal living. I told you I was seeing monks and stuff before. They live like that. And they make vows of poverty and celibacy and all that stuff too, that I was seeing and feeling. So this could have been going on. Egypt now coming into play. I mentioned Egypt and it being like a stone's throw away from Rome, Greece. A mere boat ride away. Communal living. And angels back again. Wow. It's that persecution and inquisition card. The overall energy is again orphan. Okay, these past, angels is what they have to say to you. I couldn't even get my sentence out again. And to the feminine, communal living. Soulmate, with which we started. This is back. As is past love. So I think you guys, you definitely had a past life connection. You definitely had a past life connection. And again, I feel it was over and over again. And it just continued to get blocked. Birth. So there's another chance at it. This is very Ace of Water. And there's the sacred marriage. Boom. Moon tree. This is all about the marriage between heaven and earth, but of course also the marriage, and more importantly to you probably, the marriage between two sacred beings. The angels say to you, the star. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. The star represents the sign of Aquarius or other air sign. Gemini, Libra. And the Ace of Air, also Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, or anybody taking on those traits or attributes, and the ability to cut through any, lies, deception, even if it's our own, and just to it's victory. It's victory. Triumph over all the challenges and everything that we had to go through. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and maybe a challenging beginning. It says a challenging beginning. I kind of don't like that line of that card because to me it's a beginning nonetheless. And I'd rather see it that way in the more positive sense. Also, like, why bring up the past? If we're up to the victory and we're up to the triumph and we're up to the new beginning, why are we still like stuck in that place? So we got to keep reminding ourselves that it was difficult getting there. Like, let's keep it moving. So that's how I like to look at that card. And calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And you're ready for some heart-to-heart conversations with which the Ace of Air is awesome at. But again, you guys may do without words. I just heard that again. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Wow. So that was kind of all over the place, but I hope it made sense for you and I hope you find it helpful and that you enjoy it. Again, I'm recommending that you work on continuing to cut cords, whether you do it yourself and or a healer, myself or anybody else, energy healer. And I also recommend trying to connect, and you may want to ask Jesus for this, or God, or to whomever you pray or however you pray. You may want to ask for them to help you to connect to Archangel Jeremiah, the Archangel, the patron of past lives, so we can piece some more of this together. And I'll continue to think about it and work on it too and meditate on it and let you know anything with which I come up. Namaste, Angel.